She's a boss, she's brilliant, but deep down, she still doubts herself. Why are women still battling imposter syndrome? And how do we break the cycle? Hi everyone, my name is Nadia, Azmi, and welcome to a brand new season of Women Talk. It's season 7, everyone. We want to thank you all for being loyal supporters and viewers of us from season to season. Thank you for growing with us. And for this new season, season 7, we promise to bring you more engaging and exciting conversations. Now, to kick off this episode, I want to start with a couple of questions. Now, have you ever felt that you were not good enough for a job, for instance, going into a job interview? Or if you're a mother, have you ever felt that you're failing every day and not doing enough for your children? Well, ladies, why is it that even after the qualifications, degrees, promotions, and recognitions that we have, we still tend to sell ourselves short? There's that inner voice, that whisper that keeps telling us we are not doing enough, we are not good enough at what we're doing. So where does this voice come from? And how do we overcome it? So now to help us unmask the myth that confidence means perfection, in the studio we have two ladies with us. First on my left is Shaza Bey. Hi Shaza,
hello.
welcome
Thank
to
you
Women
so
Talk.
Much for having me.
Shaza is an actress and also a digital creator. She's someone who's no stranger to the pressures of public life. You are in the public eye being an actress and all. And with her signature honesty and bold energy, she's been using her platform to speak openly and to promote self-worth and authenticity. Very good on you. Thank you, Shaza.
Thank you so much for having me. I mean, she's amazing herself. So, you know, I'm just like in awe looking at you doing your thing. I'm like, wow, amazing.
Thank you, Shaza. Oh, awesome. And next to you, we have Rina Neo, a corporate governance leader and mentor who has spent decades championing women in leadership. Now, from boardrooms to startups, Rina has seen firsthand how confidence can shape a woman's path. So we are very, very excited to hear your insights and your take on today's topic, which is about confidence. Okay, now I want to start off by talking about the imposter syndrome. We've mentioned it just now, but maybe some of our viewers are not quite familiar, are not too familiar with what that really is. And they may not be even realize that they are facing that themselves, that they're experiencing the imposter syndrome. So I want to start with Rina. If you can help us define and describe what is imposter syndrome. Maybe you can tell us also the symptoms that a woman or anyone could be facing if they are having that syndrome.
Thank you, Nadia, for having me on the show. I guess, you know, to put simply, imposter syndrome, to me, it means feeling that we're not good enough. Mm-hmm. We're always doubting ourselves. Mm-hmm. You know, if we're rich, maybe I'm not pretty enough. If I'm pretty, maybe I'm not tall enough. There's always this need to seek perfection. But I think, you know, confidence does not come as perfection. Mm. You know, it is being there, you know, being a whole, being authentically you. Because a lot of people say, I want to be like her. I want to be like this person and that person, but that person or this person has been taken. You cannot be, you know, so and so. But what you can do, and something within your control, is to be the best version of yourself. Right? So, but, you know, this idolizing someone and to be the real cookie cutter of someone, I think it's impossible because you will have to lift the pressure of, you know, being a shadow of someone.
So first and foremost, it's about finding your identity and being comfortable and okay with your own identity in your own skin. Now, I see, Shaza, you're nodding, right? The imposter syndrome is about people who think they're not good enough. You know, they're not complete. But do you think that, you know, with social media especially in existence right now, and everyone is on social media, their presence, do people tend to show or portray themselves as being perfect when actually deep down, behind the curtains, behind the scenes, they're battling that imposter syndrome? But on the outside, they're showing a whole different picture.
You know, putting your best self on social media is not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. You know, but also showing vulnerability on social media could also be a good thing because, you know, people connect to you. So I think it's how you use social media as a tool.
I don't want to see it as a bad thing. I don't think social media is a bad thing. I think it's how you perceive it, you know?
As long as you are authentic, you stay true to who you are, and that's what you portray on social media. Now, Rina, you have sat in countless boardrooms, mentored entrepreneurs. So these are women who have achieved a lot, who have accomplished a lot. But why do you think this imposter syndrome still persists and exists within this community of women?
I guess, successful is always benchmarked to financials.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Of course, in the social media world, you're successful or you're celebrated by the number of fans and all this. And we all know how social media works. But I think, since the topic here is like, how do you build your confidence? I think confidence, many perceive it as being loud or having that perfection, But I think confidence comes in silence. There are people who actually do things at the back of the office and the background, scientists, but they are confident of what they're doing. They're creating new, really good things. But no doubt, like Shaza said, we are only human. And human, we are taught from young that you have to always progress. You have to, take care of yourself first before the others. So I think as we grew up, these noises stuck in us, is the culture, is the parents wanting us to go to the best school, to the best university, to marry the most handsome man or the richest man. But these are the things that is conditioned in us.
That's right. So that's about maybe culture and upbringing, which we will be talking more about later in this episode. And from the boardroom, I want to go to the entertainment industry to Shahzad later on. So don't go away to our viewers. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Women Talk. Now, we were just talking about the confidence code and how the imposter syndrome can affect or influence one's confidence level. With me in the studio, we have Rina and Shaza. We were just talking about how this imposter syndrome happens among entrepreneurs, among women leaders, and how it looks like and why it happens. So now I want to shift to Shaza, and I want to know more about this imposter syndrome that happens in the entertainment industry. Now, in the entertainment industry, of course, it relies heavily around social media. We've talked about that briefly just now. So how does the imposter syndrome come into the picture when it comes to the entertainment industry, Shaza?
I think it's a bit of, there's a grey line, I think, with us, because this is what we do, right? So constantly have to show like we're having it all,
Exactly.
We have to always be, I would say almost perfect, but there's no such thing as perfectionist, But growing up, I have always been someone who strived into being one, having the best grades or, looking the best.
Yeah.
But then as I grow older, I realize that, there's no such thing as perfectionism or perfectionist. I need to always learn that it's okay to move at your own pace, for example.
So is it difficult gaining or building that confidence when you're in the entertainment industry? You're constantly maybe comparing yourself to others. It's a very vain industry, a very vain arena. You have to portray the best to everyone. You're in front of the camera, in front of the public's eye. So is it very difficult to actually have genuine confidence? You may be able to show that you're a strong woman, but deep down, is it the opposite?
I think honestly, it depends on people. I would always say that, are you seeking to be confident or you're seeking people's validation? I think it's two different...
validation, yes.
Two different things, So I think
do you think it's an industry where you are constantly thirsty for validation, external validation, the number of likes that you get, the number of views that you like? Is that what usually defines for some people, do you think, who they are?
Of course not. I don't think so. But it is what it is now. It is needed to be us. It is something that people see and look. But at the end of the day, having that validation is normal. It's fine to have it, but it does not have to define you as a person, I think.
Yeah, I think as a human being, we naturally tend to feel that we need that recognition, acknowledgement from people around us.
I have a certain like, so people think I'm
It makes us feel happy.
famous, so there's a certain dopamine in it, but it does not define you. It shouldn't define you, and I think there should be a boundary in knowing, if you're posting something, what is it for? And if it doesn't reach to a certain amount of like, it's fine, because now algorithm is different, engagement is different. So what do you do? Why do you do it? So for example, if you're on social media and you're promoting a certain content, so why do you do it? So what are you trying to reach? So I think we need to educate ourselves to feel that, hey, it's okay to not reach a certain likes or a certain amount of followers, because it's fine, because
it's how we let it affect us. It's important how we are able to control that. Rina, we were talking about how sometimes confidence or the lack of confidence and self-esteem is because of our upbringing, our culture, the messages that we have been absorbing since young. That shapes who we are. It molds our personality, our mentality and all that. So, why sometimes in our culture, maybe in the Asian culture, maybe, I'm just generalizing, we are taught to be very humble, to maybe not to be too loud, to reserve some of our comments and to be respectful, which is a good thing. But sometimes I think when we're not able to distinguish between what is enough, what is, adequate or not, then that's where our confidence level is being affected.
Especially for women, right? Especially for women. We are told a certain way.
That's right. Because research does show that the imposter syndrome happens to women more than men. So how do we overcome this, Rina? Do you agree with me?
I guess, yes, imposter syndrome also happens in the boardroom. And even, in the boardroom, we all heard about boardroom politics, office politics. And that is not just, something that you can appear beautiful and nice and you solve it, right? Because it's not a social media, it's not an entertainment industry, So I guess validation is lovely to have validation. That means you've done something right, but it should not be a compass, You should be developing your own, voice that is so rooted with your own principles. Regardless of what happened, even if your voice is shaking and trembling, you seek the chance to speak up. Yes. And I think whether men or women, right, what the adults say to the kids is very important because from 0 to 5, that's where the synapses works and it just absorbs everything like a sponge. So I think to the audience, if you're parents, whether to a young baby girl that you have or baby boy, don't kill their dreams. If they say, if they want to be a bus driver, by all means, that's what they want. So you should then engage and say, bus can be internal parts of the bus, it can be a transportation system. Don't say things like, why, this and that, and you should be a doctor, you should be a nurse, a professional. That so actually kills the dream.
Yes, it really depends on the surroundings, the environment that one is being brought up in that will affect one's confidence. So it's not just the responsibility of the individual, but when you say speak up, let's say in the boardroom or in the office, it's also the duty or a role that must be played by the bosses, by the employers, that they give this space and opportunity for all of us to speak up.
I have a very strict upbringing. My mother is a single mother, so she raised me single-handedly. So life was not easy at all for me. So growing up, like I said just now, I mentioned just now, I always strive to be perfection. Or to be perfect. Not because I wanted everything to just be good, but because life was very hard on me back then. So I always wanted to give my best, do my best, look my best. So it's pressuring. I can't lie, it's pressuring. But then again, as I grew older, I learned to accept that, sometimes it's okay to move at your own pace, even if it's slow. Sometimes it's okay to not be perfect. Sometimes it's fine to show a bit of vulnerability on social media because people connect more to you once you show that, hey, I'm not perfect, I'm also human.
Okay, I love this conversation so far. We have more questions to ask Rina and Shazza, but we will have to go for a short break. We'll be back right after this. Talk on the topic of confidence and battling or how to overcome the imposter syndrome. Now, unfortunately, research shows that 3 out of 4 women in leadership positions still experience imposter syndrome. So I want to ask Rina, who works a lot with female entrepreneurs and leaders, why is this happening, or what kind of environment, what kind of surrounding can we provide, can we create in order to help women grow in confidence?
Well, I guess, environment or space is important. We spoke about the environment, how a child grew up, right? So when you're a child, you hear noises and you hear your parents telling you what to do. So at work, you have to listen to your bosses, right?
Yeah.
So we call those bosses in the corporate world, people who tell you what to do and do not listen to what you really think it should be done. Is a very transactional leader. In today's world, I think, to be a good leader, you have to be transformational. You have to lead by example, not just instruct. And when things goes wrong in whatever project it has to be a team that owns it. It should not be finger pointing. And I think women thrives in that kind of leadership. Women nowadays, especially the younger generation, they have their own opinion. Right? If they do not know anything, they do not have to go to the library to search. It's just a one click away, right? So I think they should be given the space to also question. In those days, I think, if things are not broken, why fix it? Now, if you don't fix your own, product, services, and someone else, your competitor will fix it for you. So let's, give women space where they feel safe to speak up. Even if they speak, for the sake of just putting words on their mouth and coming off the mouth, but it is not taken into consideration. What is the purpose of speaking?
What do you think the challenges are when it comes to giving that space in boardrooms, in offices? It doesn't matter, which rank these women are at, but what do you think are some of the hurdles that we have to go through?
I think for your voice to be heard, right, first, I would encourage anyone to don't wait for the time to speak up, If you're in a boardroom, there's always a chance where you can make your points heard, right? But don't speak for the sake of speaking. So what I've done so far in public speakings and engagements is like somebody stood up in a big conference and they started giving a lecture.
Okay.
That is points not taken. So I think, preparing yourself for that moment to speak on what people remember you for is very, very important. And it boils down to doing your homework and what exactly you want to talk about. Because once you blah, 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 and nobody remembers who you are, what topic or what conversation do you want to, tackle. So I think in my corporate world, I've been trained to go into the boardroom or a meeting with very clear 1, 2, 3 things I want to achieve.
Okay.
And it's always that. If not, I think there are too many things and we just get off tangent. So I think being prepared, go for the meeting, being prepared is very important.
I think an important point here is to have substance.
Yes.
Substance,
Facts.
Facts, that is what will help shape your confidence.
Yes.
And you will eventually emulate that out. Now, to Shaza. Okay, so on social media, whoever is on social media, if you have a high following, you're very impressionable to your followers, especially to the younger generations. For instance, like the Gen Zs, right? But we've established that you are a millennial. So what do you hope or try to convey when you do your content and postings on social media? What are some of the things that you want to teach or try to inspire others? It doesn't just have to be ladies and girls, but just everyone in general.
I wouldn't say I would want to teach, but I think I just stay true to myself. Yeah, whatever that I've been doing so far, I think it really just, I would say, just trying to be the best version of myself whenever I'm on social media or whenever I'm out meeting people, So, but being the best version of yourself also means that, you accept flaws.
Right.
You accept there's lackings. You accept if you're here and your friend is over there and it's fine, Just like I said just now, I now accepted that, life is a journey.
Yep.
For me, it's not an end destination. So I I can just walk with my pace on and not being pressured so much by what the world wants me to be. So I think it's more on that, being true to yourself, and it's okay to grow at your own pace.
Right.
Yep.
Nice. And before we wrap up, maybe you can give a little of one of your favorite quotes or your definition or your hopes to all our viewers out there when it comes to confidence.
Life is a journey. It's not an end destination. You're always evolving. You know, I am not the same person as I am 5 years ago, and it's not a bad thing. I'm just evolving to be someone better, or I hope so. You know, so it's always about learning for me.
And confidence can look like, you know, it
Practicing
can look,
over and over again.
you practice it,
Yeah.
and it can look like anything.
Yep.
It comes in all shapes and forms.
Yep.
Right. It's not just about being beautiful.
No.
But confidence is more and beyond that.
Yeah, and it's in and it's out. If you're beautiful on the inside, as cheesy as it sounds, but you're gonna be beautiful on the outside. It's really true on this one. So,
What about you, Rina?
I think I live by the quote of, 100% respect and zero fear. You know, when I speak up, it's not about to attack someone.
Yeah.
When we discuss and we debate, it's about that piece of work. So don't take it personal. You know, everyone can speak as long as you do your homework. There's factual. There's points to prove. Then I think it's okay. Just don't speak for the sake of speaking. And I think if you're able to speak more, it actually helps you build confidence, because it's not an overnight job. It's about you speak and someone give you a feedback. A critical feedback that you can accept and you can actually, work on it. The other thing that I feel that, everybody says, I have strength and I have weaknesses. Everyone has that, but we all have 24 hours a day. So I choose to enhance and work on my strength so that my strength goes up. But my weakness, if I choose to work on my weakness, my strength stays still. So it's the strengths that define me.
Yes.
So it's just my personal choice, right? So I don't aim to be perfect. I have no weaknesses at all. That's I don't think it's going to be true.
To add to that, I think it's important that we remember that we're here to be together, to walk hand in hand, and not to bring ourselves down. Thank you so much to Rina and Shaza for being on Women Talk and speaking about confidence. Now, confidence isn't a destination, right, Shaza? It's a practice. And every time we show up, speak up, or lift another woman, we are rewriting the script. So thank you again to Rina and Shaza for being so honest and inspiring. To our viewers, thank you for continuing to show up for yourselves and for one another. Please do give us a shout out and follow us on social media at Women Talk TV3 and also at TV3 Malaysia. So with that, thank you for spending time with us on this first episode of a brand new season of Women Talk. We'll see you in the next episode of Women Talk next week. See you. Take care, everyone.